Welcome to the top of the morning show with the girl TT from the D. I am happy that you chose to wake up this morning and rise with us for another day of greatness. This morning's segment is going to be brought to you by Michigan Nonprofit Association, MNA. I'm not sure if you know, but we have been taken over. The top of the morning show has been taken over by nonprofit organizations throughout Michigan. This week is dedicated to Michiganders, but is solely dedicated to nonprofit organizations. We've had the pleasure of talking to several different nonprofit organizations this week. You've had the opportunity to listen in on Monday, yesterday, Wednesday, and of course Tuesday, because we did the tap in Tuesday. We had a full day, and that day we had two nonprofit organization CEOs in the building. We had Dr. Karen Reynolds from Careco Well nonprofit organization out from Lansing, Michigan, and we also had Miss Kenyana Zanye, BU Community Development from Detroit, Michigan. So I wanted to explain to you a little bit about the $35 million relief fund, the application process, things of that nature. There's been a lot of questions, and I want to be able to give you a little bit of insight so you can know what's going on. Now, Michigan Nonprofit, I'm tongue twisted this morning. Michigan Nonprofit Association has been able to bring to the forefront at this time this awesome opportunity with this funding. And the application actually opened on March 22nd. Okay. Now, MNA is committed to getting funds into your hands, the nonprofit organizations in Michigan, small charitable nonprofit organizations that have been impacted by life, especially the pandemic, right? So MNA and the Michigan Department of Labor and Economics, LEO, announced that they were going to have $35 million in nonprofit relief money. However, the application does close on May 5th. I promise you, you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. Don't write it down and say, oh, I'll do that as soon as I get a minute. Your minute will turn into hours, your hours will turn into days, days will turn into weeks, and then before you know it, it'll be over. And we're already almost at the end of April. Now, you may have some questions about the relief fund. I know I've been putting out there that you can go to www.minonprofitrelief.org, but you can also go to relief fund at mnaonline.org. Now, nonprofits are required to complete the application to be considered to be in the pool of people to be selected to receive this grant money. And you already can imagine they've received an overwhelming amount of inquiries. And people are trying to, express their interest in the relief fund, all these questions. And they encourage, and this is directly from the president and CEO, Kelly Kuhn. She said they encourage nonprofits, especially those from underrepresented and underserved rural areas. So a lot of our Detroiters, a lot of our people in the rural areas, as she said, some of you have already reached out to me and you don't think you qualify. You're not sure if you qualify. So I've provided another link that I've been sharing, but you definitely can go to relief fund at mnaonline.org to get more assistance and more information. It's an amazing opportunity, okay? And it's an opportunity for nonprofits to be lifted out of poverty and have the opportunity to have monies given to them to help them further their missions. The $35 million is not change. That fund is being administered now by MNA, but it's designed to provide aid and recovery, especially during this pandemic. A lot of organizations have suffered. They have suffered. And so it's like, how can we give back? People always say, how can we give back? What can we do? This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity. Don't miss out on the opportunity to help put your organization ahead. Now, again, you may have some questions that's beyond me, right? You might say, well, I want to know how this goes. And what about this? And what about that? I get you. I don't have the answer, but they do. And they are there to help you get the information you need, you want, and you deserve. Now, the different nonprofit organizations that's been featured on the Top of the Morning show are amazing. And we're seeming to be able to tap into a whole lot of different areas. And that's the goal, because this money isn't just for one area, one cause, one organization. It's for many. But you can't access the money if you don't apply for the funding. Now, you will always find opportunities, but not like this one. And you might say, well, I don't know if this is going to work for me. I don't know if this is the time. I don't know if I qualify. I don't know if you qualify either. But I encourage you to apply. I encourage you to go on the website and read, because reading is fundamental, right? It's fundamental. A lot of times we aren't sure what we are able to get, and we can be told, oh, yeah, go ahead. You could do it. You could have it. Okay, but do you want to put in the work? And a lot of people don't want to put in the work. Having a nonprofit is not easy work. If you listen to some of the people, they'll tell you. They will tell you the challenges that they've come against. But there's a lot of opportunities for nonprofit organizations to grow. Again, go to Michigan nonprofitrelief.org, not spelled out Michigan, MI nonprofitrelief.org, to get more information. To fill out the application, it's right there. And you're going to say, oh, well, I don't know. Let me tell you, okay? Because you're probably going to wonder where this money come from. How is this being supported? What's the ins and out of this? I get you. I got you. Okay? I got you. The Nonprofit Relief Fund is all about giving back. So let me tell you a little bit about the program. The funding for this program comes from the Federal Coronavirus Relief Fund, awarded to the state of Michigan as part of the American Rescue Plan Act, which is ARPA. The Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity, LEO, you heard me say that earlier, has partnered with the Michigan Nonprofit Association, MNA. Y'all like those alphabets, right? Those abbreviations. To assist in administering this grant program on behalf of the state, consistent with federal and state requirements. This is a one-time infusion of capital into Michigan's nonprofit sector to provide relief to those critical organizations while giving them the opportunity to continue or expand their services to areas that were hit drastically by COVID-19, and to populate those that are underserved and underrepresented. The ultimate success of the program will be judged by the number of nonprofits able to continue to provide services. Because this is a federally funded and state-operated program, there are certain registration requirements that all grantees will need to follow in order to receive funding. Now, you can get more information about relevant compliance requirements, blah, 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 on, by going on and signing up. Now, that's just an overview. Okay, now remember, the formal application opened on March 22nd, and it will officially close, without a doubt, on Friday, May 5th at 11:59 p.m. Not 12, at 12 o'clock, you can't click on, like, oh, something wrong with my internet. No, nothing wrong with your internet. You missed the deadline. Because each eligible application will be reviewed. Oh, excuse me, I have to yawn this morning. Let me say that again, just because you're like, I didn't get that. I want you to hear me. Each eligible application will be reviewed by nonprofit and community leaders from the applicant's region. Okay? And applications will be scored based upon demonstrated need, narrative, and supporting documentation. That's why it's so important to read. Now, if you have further questions and you're like, I need to do a little bit more deep diving. Okay. They also have a link for frequently asked questions. Here are some of the frequently asked questions. Where do I apply? TT? Right there. Okay. Right there online. Yes. Okay. You hit that, fill out the application link, and voila, you're on your way. Who is eligible, TT, to apply for the relief fund? Here we go. This is important. And I'm going to slow it down because I don't want you to miss this. To be eligible for this funding, organizations must be 501c3 nonprofits or projects physically sponsored by a 501c3 and able to demonstrate necessary expenditures and or losses due to COVID-19 public health emergency incurred after March 3rd, 2021, including lost public service revenue, costs for responding to public health emergencies, providing assistance to households, payroll protection, and other economic impacts negatively that affected your service to deliver. Okay? What type of organizations are not eligible? Non-eligible applicants are organizations that are 501c4s, 501c6s, or otherwise known 501c3. Okay? K-12 schools, including charter, public, and private, you do not qualify, so don't even try it. Higher education institutions, universities, colleges, okay? Municipalities, subdivisions, government agencies, hospitals. Now, you would think that they could get some because they had a huge loss, PPE gear, all that, staffing, but they're not. I'm sorry, they're not. Trade associations, credit unions, insurance trusts, fraternal orders, religious programming, faith-based nonprofits. Okay? You're not. You're probably sitting there like, what? Yeah. Now, the question on there, how long will it be open? From March 22nd to May 5th. Where does the funding come from for the Michigan Nonprofit Relief? We went over that. ARPA. Okay? So really, instead of doing all the initials, we'll talk about it. The American Rescue Plan Act. Okay? That's where this money's coming from, ARPA. If my organization is not a 501c3, can we apply for funding? No. Only 501c3 organizations or organizations with 501c3 physical sponsors can apply for this relief fund. How will my application be prioritized? Eligible applicants with 501c3s, nonprofit organizations, will be assisted. Okay? And so they'll be prioritized as they come in. Okay? Do I have to show a financial loss in 2021? The specific dates are not exclusive as long as the organization can provide documentation of a loss or increased need from March 3rd, 2021 to the present day. You are good to go. Do we have to be MNA members in order to apply? No. Your nonprofit does not have to be in membership with the organization. The PPP loan or organization received in 2020 was converted into a grant in 2021. Does it still need to be disclosed? Yes. Even though it was converted to a grant, it is still considered federal assistance. So do not act like you don't know where you got that PPP money from. They know they gave it to you. Are we able to submit 2 separate grant applications, one for our Grand Rapids site and one for our Detroit site, even though we share an EIN? Because your organizations only have one EIN number, you will only be able to submit for one. That's like double dipping. We're not doing that. We're trying to help people, not scam people. We don't use a W-9 form. Do I have to submit one with my application? Typically, Form W-9 is used to establish the identity of an organization as being independent and free from the influence of any nonprofit for entities which, can be requested. It's required in order to receive an award, though, with the Michigan Nonprofit Relief Fund. So a blank W-9 can be assessed and completed, and they have a link that you can do that online. Okay? Is this fund prioritized for those that have demonstrated financial hardship for COVID or to boost support for nonprofits in Michigan? We did not have the direct COVID-related expenses. Decreased revenue. These are such opportunities. Decreased revenue. Okay. Financial insecurity. Increased cost. Uncompensated. Increase in services needed. Capacity to weather financial hardship, challenges covering payroll, rent, mortgage, and other operating costs. Okay. Does an organization have to be a 501c3 to apply? We answered that. An organization must be a 501c3 or 501c19 to be eligible. What costs are not eligible? Ineligible costs would include corporate debt, contingencies, contributions and donations, entertainment costs, fines and penalties, legislative expenses, any religious activity, and political advocacy activity. Will a nonprofit still be eligible for funding if they provide services to communities, constituents in Michigan? Yes. Okay? Yes. What if my organization already had COVID-19 funding? Are we still eligible? Okay. Organizations that received other federal, state, or local COVID-19 assistance are eligible to apply for the ARPA funding through Michigan Nonprofit, as long as what you are currently applying for is for different use than previously funding received. Yes, you absolutely can. These are just several questions, and we just wanted to kind of share a little bit more light. Because there's always going to be questions. When you're dealing with money, you should have questions. When you're trying to figure it out, you want to make sure that you're on top. You want to be in the know. You want to know, how do you do things? Be in compliance. What's the expectations are. And you want to follow it to a T. So, that's it for now. I just wanted to stop by this morning to remind you that you will be able to check out Nonprofit Association by going to MI nonprofitrelief.org. Okay? So you want to be able to participate and get the monies that's allocated for organizations like yours. And if you're not a nonprofit organization holder, founder, CEO, and you know someone that is, reach out to them. This is for every local Michigan nonprofit organization. We want you to apply. As long as you qualify. I broke it down for you, but you don't have to take my word for it. Go to MNA and you will find out directly. So that's MNAonline.org. Again, this PSA was brought to you by Michigan Nonprofit Association, TNC, the New Citizens Press. This is your girl TT from the D on the top of the morning show. We'll see you right back here at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'll see you soon.